AWS cost calculator or cost explorer rather. Okay, just give me 5 minutes. Okay, I just have to get some updates on the activity going on. I'll resume our session now. So AWS Cost Explorer. Okay, this is again used on a very regular basis. Week on week, we need to view, we need to inspect, we need to analyze, we need to assess the report, right? So for accessing the report, for viewing what is the charges, and then for doing any analysis, so this is the tool that we have got. Again, this is also a web-based tool, and this AWS Cost Explorer was a separate interface, was a separate tool at the beginning. But now what AWS has done, they have combined all the tools into billing console or billing um, umbrella. So if you go here, billing and cost management is the overarching console, and within that billing and cost management console, you have a separate section for cost explorer and the report that you are generating from the cost explorer. Earlier, cost explorer was a separate option, but now you have to go into this billing and cost management console, and this is where you get end-to-end tools or categories for doing all this stuff. Even I was talking about the cost allocation tags, so that is something you can just see it here. And also, if you want to enable cost anomaly detection, I mean, whatever the tools that we have been discussing, most of them comes under this billing and cost management tool. And also, if you have purchase savings plan, you can also see what is the current consumption, how much is spending, and where exactly we are using, or if there are some unutilized savings plan or reservations, you can also use that across different AWS account, or you can also have that utilized in other project where you have a requirement, right? So you will get a detailed view on the current usage and the recommendations for each and every category here you got. And this is the new option that you got, which is the cost optimization hub, where you get end-to-end details into one single place. Earlier, we used to have multiple different places, like Trusted Advisor will have cost optimization recommendation, and you will also get something under this Cost Explorer. And there are different, maybe like Compute Optimizer provides optimization on only compute area, and under storage, you will get some recommendations. So you have to go to different multiple consoles earlier for a different AWS account, and that is going to be very challenging. But now AWS has consolidated all of them into cost optimization hub. This can give you an overall recommendation across multiple AWS account and multiple different regions into one particular area. So you can also enable this feature. This can give you recommendations from all the different multiple AWS services and multiple different regions into one single console. Okay, this is a new feature that is currently recently added. You can see the name new here. This was recently included into exam. Might not have that question, but if you are planning to utilize this tool in production environment, you can go ahead and use it. But currently, like it is a new service which you might not see it in the exam. So if you have different recommendations in different services, like maybe for compute, storage, and containers, earlier we used to have different tools for different optimization. But now all the services related recommendations and the best practices are narrowed down into one single hub, one single tool, where you can work upon all the recommendation. Now, going back to the tool that we were trying to discuss, the Cost Explorer tool, this gives you a lot of different granular information, a lot of different information with specific absolute or relative range. Maybe you can just say last number of days or months, or you can also go and say this duration. So you have options to go and get the report. So this is a very straightforward, simple, and easy to use interface. There is not much training that is needed. This gives you inbuilt visualization but some organization they might go for Power BI or Tableau or other tools for visualizing the cost. But here itself in Cost Explorer, natively you get that visualization. So that way it is easy to view, analyze the report, understand where exactly the spends are going to, and then you can also manage the AWS cost across different systems. I'll show you a quick example here. So let's say for April to May, where exactly the spend is, and then here I can just select I want the report as per the region or as per the service. So I can go as per the service, and here I can also go and select whether I want to get specific services or I want to show the report across all the services. So I can just say apply based on the filters that I have selected, and at the bottom you can see where exactly the spend is coming from. So you can see S3, the taxes for that, and on the right, currently there is not much cost that is shown here. Maybe I have got the AWS credit based on my AWS different programs. So I'm part of the AWS um, different programs are there. I might have applied certain stuffs here. So I'm part of. So I have. I mean, I've attended some specific virtual event. So I've got some credit for that. Okay. So and then. Maybe there are other credits also I used to get. So for example, I'm also AWS community builder. So as part of the community builder program, I also get some credit, so which I can use. There are many ways to get credits. This is mainly for your self practice, not for the production environment. For production environment, AWS provides you different type of credits like migration acceleration program credit, and then there are different enterprise credits that you can get for modernization, migration, acceleration, and so on. But these are all something that if you're attending some online event from AWS, or if you are participating actively in community program, so you also get that AWS Hero badge or AWS Community Builder badge. So I've got all those badges. So I get regular credit for practicing stuff. Even if you are actively participating in their forums, in their blogs, and so on, you will also start getting that batch, and you'll also get some credit a month on month to do some practice on AWS platform. So here coming to the AWS Cost Explorer, the reason it says 0 because of the credit that I'm using. But if I want to see something for the June, let's say currently I'm using it for August to September. Okay, so let me use this month and then say apply. So still this month also it doesn't give me anything. So I'm going and checking as per the different regions. So it says which are the region I'm using it. See, if you can see that it is saying these are the 4 region that I have spun up. So you are following me during the classes, right? I have created some resources in Stockholm. I have created something on Oregon, and I have created something on North Virginia. And moving on to the right, you can see from which region how much bill we are getting, right? So this is also pretty much clearly visible. You can go and get the report for different region, different service, different resource category, or different. If you have applied some specific tax for your resources, you can also get the report for your production environment, non-production, or if you want to get it per department. If you have the proper tag, it is easy to search, it is easy to filter, it is easy to query something, it is easy to index and get the report. If you have different purchase option, you can also go and check how much is the consumption on the savings plan and reservations. If you have specific requirement, you can go and add new capability and different dimensions, and you can filter them. So there are various way to filter it. You have these many number of filters, and if you just click on more filters, it can also show you specific platform, specific cost allocation category. And if you don't see specific things, for example, let's say for cost category, right? If I'm not seeing something on the cost category, possibly I have not selected anything for the cost allocation tagging. So for cost allocation tags, you need to specify which are the tags you want to use for cost allocation. So AWS provides the default tags. These are the AWS generated tags. And if you want to include the AWS backup into cost allocation, you can activate that. Similarly, if you want to create on your own and add something as a user defined tag, you can also go and add this department and then activate it. Once after you activate it, automatically see, it will tell you which are the tags that you are utilizing currently and which are the ones you have created earlier and you have not utilized it. So these are some tags which I've created earlier, but I've never used it after April 2023. But then these are the tags that are currently used on some of the resources that I'm creating. So if you activate it, it will get added to the cost allocation tags reporting. So that is the reason you will not see certain tags automatically. You have to activate it and then say that these are all tags which are relevant to cost allocation, and that way you can utilize it for filtering and getting the report on different dimensions. So you can change the way you want to look at the report here, and then you can also get the cost and details. So not just here, even if you go to the home console, let's say I'm just logging in, the home console also will give you that different dimension. So let's say console.aws.com. On the home console, on the very right bottom, right? So here you got the recently used application, and if you scroll down, you can see the cost and usage here. So it says current month cost is 0.95. So if you click on that, it will take you to the current split up. Okay, what exactly the resources are currently running, and what are the services that I'm using. So there are 14 services that I'm using. So if you like look at the count, if you just filter the color, it will just go and show you only that much. Okay, so let's say EC2 0.023, and VPC it is 0.22, and then there is a tax for those two categories, and then for load balancer it has charged me around 0.02. So if you want to get into the details of this, what you can do, you can just go and check it here. So it will tell you like what are the different services and the pricing for those services for the month of October. And if I want to get a little more granular information, so it says, let's say EC2 other, but I don't know like what is that EC2 other. Customer is asking me, I want to understand what is that EC2 other. You can click on this download the CSV, and then this file will be a little more detailed to help you understand what are those prices, and what kind of details you have used, and so on. So if you move on to the right, it will show you what are the services and stuff. Or else if you want to change the dimension, so here what you can do is, let's say I want to see it by usage type, let's say. So it is showing me by a usage. It says the EBS volume usage for GP3 is this much, and then for the T2 micro instance, it is this much, and then T2 T3 micro. So here you can see the EC2 others now. So if you look at this, the public IP address that I've created, they have charged me 0.017. Maybe that is the EC2 other category. Maybe like for the T2 micro that I spun up, it has charged me 13 cents. Similarly, for the no usage of the public IP, it is charged. They are charging me 0.9 cents. So similarly, like you will get detailed report if you go for the usage type dimension. Okay, so that way you know like where exactly, whether it is for the snapshot, or whether it is for the public IP address, or whether it is for the idle public IP address or in use IP address. So you will get the detailed split up of the EC2 categories, right? So if in case customer is asking for that, you can also go and change the dimension, and that dimension will give you a clear cut idea on now you can also go and download this CSV file. That way you know which are the services and so on. So wherever whatever filtering or grouping you do, or the dimensions you change, you can go and get the report in a different format. And you can also change the I mean, what you call the chart option. If you want to get a bar chart, or if you want to get it in a different way, you can also get it like this. For example, if I want to get the usage in bar chart for different services, so you can also get this. So you can, that way you can see where exactly the maximum spend is coming from. So EC2 instance is the maximum. Next one is VPC, and then the tax is the third one, and so on. So you get a lot of details when you go into different grouping and filtering options. Okay, so Cost Explorer tool, it will give you a very clear cut idea where exactly you are spending per service, per usage over the time. That way it is easy to extract, export it. And this is also going to help you identify the trend, right? So you can identify where exactly the cost is going into, and if you really know I mean need that, you can use it. Or if you want to go and decommission that, you can go and decommission it. So Cost Explorer, it helps you to visualize, understand, and manage the AWS cost and usage over the time. And this is also going to give you an option to go and extract the report, generate the report, and it is very easy for you to analyze. So it pinpoints the trend. It also pinpoints the cost drivers. You can also go and detect the anomalies also. So week on week, if you're going and checking it, it will help you to detect where exactly the change in trend is. So maybe you can compare two different month reports. So last month, what is the usage, and this month what is the usage, and automatically it will show you. And if you don't want to manually check the anomalies, you can also go and enable the cost anomaly detection tool. I'll come to that tool once after we complete the cost explorer. So you can also go and get started with that. So this is a free service, but if you are configuring SNS notification to your ITSM tool, or if you're configuring some logging, then for cost anomaly detection, there is a cost for the notification, not for enabling the automation tool. Okay. So if you want to manually do it, you can just look into the last month report by selecting the date range for last month. And then if you want to check the current month, you can just compare both the reports, and that way it will be easy for you to understand where exactly the trend change, or the pinpoint the cost drivers, and then detect the anomaly. So it is going to help you detect the anomalies. Anomalies is change in usage or trend. Maybe someone has uh, purchased a subscription recently, okay, or someone has went ahead and got something in marketplace, or they might have enabled some specific feature, right? Maybe like WAF or Shield or something like that. That will go and charge you month on month a lot of cost. Okay, so you can get the report in a very granular way. So based on the time interval, or if you want to get it in a different granular way on a particular day or a particular week also, you can go and configure it. You have a lot of options to filter the report or the data. You have a lot of ways to export the data. Okay, you can also group the data by whatever filter you want, and also you can go and have the forecasting done using the same tool. You know how much the forecast is. That is what we saw, right? If I went ahead to the home screen, it clearly told me the monthly bill that I'm expecting is something, right? That is what I saw, and then I went into that. So you will get the forecast on this home screen here itself. It will say this is the forecasted amount, so current month, and then the forecasted month end charges. So it will be visible in the billing and cost management console. If you want to get it here, you can get the forecast, and you can also save whatever report. And if you want to integrate with your custom application, or if you want to configure with different tool sets like Power BI or Tableau, AWS Cost Explorer provides you an API which can be automatically integrated. So developers can go ahead and integrate it, and you can get different chart, different way of visualizing the data, and get the report. A lot of customers are using tools like Grafana and other open source tools, but mostly I have seen customers utilizing the existing licenses from Power BI, Tableau, and other major tools. So Cost Explorer is a very powerful tool that you can use in your organization to filter and group the data, and you can configure the time interval and granular range that you want to have. It can be daily or monthly or weekly or yearly or quarterly. You can just understand and manage the AWS cost over the time. So any questions on the Cost Explorer? Okay, I will assume that is no questions. So we'll move on to the next tool. Mostly like we will customers will ask for the cost and usage report.